how information and knowledge were stored before books and writing. Before books, before writing, before the internet. Humans stored entire histories inside their minds. No backups, no notes. So how did they remember everything without forgetting? Imagine a world where nothing is written down. No books, no notes, no history recorded on paper. Everything you know, every idea, every story, every survival skill exists only in your mind. Now imagine this. If you forget, it disappears forever. No backup, no recovery, no second chance. For most of human history, this was reality. Knowledge did not live in libraries. It lived in people. Before writing, the human brain was the only place where knowledge could exist. But this wasn't an ordinary memory. It was trained, sharpened, and disciplined. Early humans depended on memory for survival. They had to remember which plants were safe to eat, where animals migrated, how to build tools. When seasons would change, forgetting wasn't just inconvenient, it was dangerous. So humans developed techniques to strengthen memory. They used repetition. They practiced constantly. Important knowledge was shared again and again until it became permanent. Memory was not just a mental ability, it was technology. But raw information is hard to remember. Stories are not. So, humans transformed knowledge into stories. Instead of simply saying, "Avoid this plant," they created stories about danger, consequences, and survival. Stories carried lessons, cultural values, and most importantly, they carried emotion. Emotion makes memory stronger. A story is not just heard, it is felt. And what we feel, we remember. Storytelling became one of the most powerful tools for preserving knowledge. As societies grew, storytelling became more structured. This gave rise to oral traditions. Entire cultures depended on spoken knowledge passed down through generations. Certain individuals became elders, storekeepers, teachers. They memorized vast amounts of information and passed it on with precision. In some cultures, people could recite thousands of lines of history, law, or poetry from memory. These individuals were not just storytellers. They were libraries. Knowledge did not exist in objects. It existed in people. To make memory even more powerful, humans turned to music. Songs and rhythms made information easier to remember. Think about how easily you remember a song even years later. Ancient humans used this exact principle. They turned knowledge into songs, chants, rhythmic patterns. This allowed information to survive for generations without being written down. Music wasn't just entertainment, it was storage. Even before writing, humans began experimenting with visual storage. They created cave paintings, carvings, symbols. These were not full writing systems, but they carried meaning. Animals, hunting scenes, daily life. They were a way to record experiences visually. Not words, but memory in image form. This was one of the first steps toward external knowledge storage. Humans also used physical objects to store and recall information. They created knotted ropes, marked sticks, patterned items. These acted as memory aids. For example, knots in a rope could represent numbers or events. Objects didn't store full knowledge, but they helped trigger memory. Writing. Early writing began as pictographs of simple images representing objects or ideas. Over time, these symbols evolved into structured writing systems. Clay tablets. Early civilizations recorded information on clay tablets, papyrus and paper. Later, materials like papyrus and paper made writing lighter and more portable. Books. Eventually, written knowledge was compiled into books. Books were copied by hand. This was slow and limited. Then came the printing press. It allowed books to be produced quickly and in large numbers. Knowledge spreads faster than ever before. For the first time, information became widely accessible. This marked the beginning of mass knowledge storage. Today, knowledge storage has reached an entirely new level. We use computers, servers, cloud storage. Information is no longer limited by physical space. It can be stored infinitely and accessed instantly. The human brain is no longer the primary storage system. Technology has taken over. Modern systems offer unlimited storage, instant access, global communication. Looking back, we can see a clear progression. Stage 1, memory, knowledge stored in the brain. Stage 2, oral tradition, knowledge shared through speech. Stage 3, symbols, visual representation of ideas. Stage 4, writing, permanent external storage. Stage 5, books and printing, mass distribution of knowledge. Stage 6, digital technology, instant global access. Each stage solved a problem. Each stage changed how humans think. The scene returns to a fire in the ancient world. Before books and writing, humans stored knowledge through memory, stories, music, symbols. Over time, these methods evolved into writing systems, books, printing, digital storage. Each step made knowledge easier to preserve and share, but it also changed our relationship with it. In the past, knowledge was something you carried inside you. Today, it is something you access. And perhaps, in understanding this journey, we realize something important. Technology stores knowledge, but humans give it meaning. For centuries, the spread of knowledge was slow, fragile, and limited. Books had to be copied by hand, one page at a time, often by scribes who spent months or even years reproducing a single text. This process was not only time-consuming, but also restricted access to knowledge. Only a small number of people, usually the wealthy or religious institutions, could own books. Information moved slowly. For the first time, information became widely accessible, reaching ordinary people rather than just elites. This marked the beginning of mass knowledge storage and distribution. Ideas could now travel across countries, shaping cultures, inspiring revolutions, and accelerating human progress. Centuries later, humanity entered another transformative era, the digital age. Today, knowledge storage has reached an entirely new level. Instead of paper and ink, we rely on computers, servers, and cloud storage. Information is no longer limited by physical space. Entire libraries can exist within a single device, and data can be stored almost infinitely. More importantly, knowledge can be accessed instantly, from anywhere in the world. The human brain is no longer the primary storage system. Technology has taken over that role, acting as an external extension of human memory. Today, we depend on devices to store information for us. Memory has become externalized. We don't always remember. Because we know we can look things up, in gaining convenience, we may have lost a certain depth of connection with knowledge. Information is easier to access, but not always deeply understood or retained. This reflects the long evolution of knowledge storage. It began with memory, where knowledge lived entirely in the brain. A quiet truth emerges. Before books and writing, knowledge lived in people, not on pages. Today, we have advanced tools to store and share information, but the essence remains the same. Technology can preserve knowledge, but it is humans who give it meaning. If this changes how you see knowledge itself, subscribe, because the next story might change how you think forever.